get you some. Oh, mate, it's lucky she can cook. Wow! G'day, lovelies. Welcome back. Alrighty, today we're making Tuna Mornay Aussie girl style. Now this one is definitely going in the cookbook. Alright, so what we need first is 1.5 kilos of potatoes. We want to peel them and chop them in half. Stick them in a big pot, cover them with water, put them on, bring them up to a boil. When it starts to boil, turn it down to a simmer. Let them simmer away until a fork goes through and they're nice and soft. Take them off, put them in a strainer, drain all the water out. Now while that's cooking, we need to get 4 eggs and we want to hard boil them. So put them in the water cold, bring it up to the boil, put a timer on for 5 minutes, take them straight off, run some cold water through them and peel them. Alright, once they're done, all we want to do is just chop them up roughly. Just a couple of times on each one. Okay, until they're all chopped up like that, and then chuck them in the fridge till we need them. Alright, now we want to get a couple of decent sized spring onions, clean them up, and then slice them up really thin and chuck them in a bowl. So I've got a fresh block of parmesan cheese. I'm going to finely grate roughly 1/4 cup. Alrighty, spuds are done. I will write the recipe down below in the description as always. Alright, first thing, salt and pepper. Let's say about 30 grams of butter. Alright, a squeeze of mayo. Alright, thickened cream. We just want a dash. Like that. Same thing with the milk, a dash. I want to put half the spring onion in there. And the 1/4 cup of parmesan cheese or any cheese that you've got. And now with the masher, we'll mash it. Once you've mashed it, if you have to, just add a little bit more milk. Just add a little bit of time until you've got it to the perfect consistency you want. Once we've got it beautiful and creamy, stick the lid on. If you haven't got a lid, stick a plate on it and set it aside. Alright, onto the Tuna Mornay. Now into a large saucepan, we want to add 90 grams of butter and then we'll sit that on the stove top till we're ready. Now we need roughly a 425 gram can of cream corn. Just crack that open, ready to go. Now I've got 2 420 gram cans of tuna. I've got them in spring water. I love to get them in the spring water when I can, but when I can't, I just have them in the brine anyway. We want to open them up. Once you've cut it open, we want to squeeze all of the juice out, as much juice as we can. Alright, once we squeeze the life out of them, just take the lids out. And then we just want to break it all up in the tin. Alright, now for the cheese. We want shelf life cheddar cheese. Now if you go to IGA or Foodland, you'll get the Kraft cheddar. And if you go to Woolworths and I think Coles, you get the Dairy Lee. Now they are both made by the same person and they are the exact same thing. And you'll find them where you find your Vegemites and peanut paste and stuff on the shelf there. So we need 250 grams grated. If you can't get it, just use whatever cheese you can get a hold of. Alrighty, once that's done, set it aside. Now we need a 1/4 cup of plain flour. Alright, onto the top of that we want to put 1 teaspoon of mustard powder. And we want 1/4 teaspoon of paprika. I like using the sweet paprika, but any paprika will do. And we need to get 1.5 cups of milk ready. And we are ready to rock and roll, my friends. Alrighty, stove top on medium. We want to put our butter on and melt it down. Alright, once it's melted, we want to add our flour mix. We want to mix it in really well and get all the lumps out. Alright, once all the lumps are out, it'll start heating up. See how it's now bubbling? Okay, we want to do this and constantly stir it for 1 minute to cook the flour out. Alright, a minute's up, so now we want to take it off the heat for a minute. Okay, now we want to add our milk slowly and just stir it all in until it's all nice and smooth. Once we've got it all mixed in, we want to put it back on the heat. Now we want to constantly stir it until it thickens up and coats the back of the spoon. Okay, now it's thickened up. It doesn't take long. As soon as it gets hot enough, it does it really quick. Okay, so once it's like that and it coats the back of the spoon, she's ready to go. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to put half of the grated cheese in. Now we want to keep stirring it until the cheese is really smooth. Now if you're doing the Tuna Mornay just on its own, once the cheese is smooth, you would turn it down to low and add everything, and you would leave it on for about 5 minutes, stirring it every minute. But because we're doing it in the oven, as soon as the cheese has melted through, we're going to take it off. Okay, once it's melted through, at this stage we'll now preheat our ovens at 180 degrees Celsius, and we want to get ourselves a family size oven proof dish. Okay, add our spring onions, our tuna, our can of creamed corn. This makes it. And mix it all through really well. Oh yeah, baby. Alright, first Mornay into the dish. Then just gently even it out. Now we want to get the other half of our grated cheese and we want to spread that all over the top. Now we want to dump spoonfuls of our mash all over it. Right, now with the fork, you just want to make it all even all over, nice and roughly. Now once we've done that, we need some bread or some continental loaf, or I've got a couple of crusty hamburger rolls and hot dog rolls in the freezer, so I've just pulled them out. So what you do, no matter what you're using, you just break little bits off or chunks off like that. And first of all, we stick them in all around the outside. It keeps everything in there. Once you've done all around the outside, just half push them into the top and keep going. Big or as little chunks as you want. With the bread, you can do it as big or as little as you want. So I use 2 hamburger rolls and 2 little hot dog rolls. Alright, now we want to put it on a big tray just in case it does overflow. Once we've done that, now at this stage, if you want, you can glad wrap the whole thing and stick it in the fridge. And if you want to cook it the next night for dinner or later on that night if you do it during the day, you just unwrap it, leave it on the bench for 20 minutes for the dish to like warm up a little bit so it wouldn't crack. Preheat your oven to 180 and just do it exactly how we're going to now. So now I'm going to bang her in the oven. So while that's cooking, I'm going to chop up some parsley to sprinkle all over the top, quarter up a lemon, because lemon with tuna mornay, believe it or not, is absolutely beautiful. And now while it's cooking for the next 40 minutes or so, it gives me a chance to clean the whole kitchen, and then you can like sit down with your family or your partner or your dog and enjoy your meal without having to worry about anything. It's lovely. 40 minutes later in my electric oven, oh mate, it looks and smells amazing. Alright, you can leave it sit there for up to 15 minutes while you get all your plates and that ready if you want. It stays hot for ages. Alright, there's no real pretty way of doing tuna mornay, but we'll give it a crack. So as you can see, that's 1/8 of it. Nice big beautiful bowl with a bit of everything in it. Parsley, a lemon wedge. Well, there you have it, lovelies. Traditional Aussie tuna mornay with a twist of yumminess. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have yourselves an awesome night, and I'll see you soon. Doodles.